I have here with me Chris Andrew, Administrator of Orchard Park Post-Acute Rehab. Chris, how are you?
Good. Thanks
Great.
For having
It's so
me. It's
nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your recent award.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. Our people work really hard, and it's nice to have them recognized for that. So.
Definitely, definitely. So just to recap, you guys received the Best of Utah County Award for two different things, not one but two. And they were what?
Well, we got the Best Nursing Home Award, and then we also got the Best Rehab Department Award. And
That's
so,
fantastic.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a lot of work, and people put their heart and soul in this, and so we're really, really pleased. It's a great recognition for them.
Well, that's very cool. So now a lot of people don't know this, and I didn't know this until recently. A lot of nursing homes have very strong rehab components, and that was something I was not aware of. So how does that work? How do the departments work together?
I mean, nursing home is kind of a generic term nowadays. There's basically two types of patients that we service. We have what's generically called a short-term population, and those are patients that get kind of physical therapy or occupational or speech therapy, and they're generally here for anywhere from, could be a few days to 30 days. They've usually had some kind of an event in their life, a stroke or an orthopedic injury or something, a cardiovascular injury, and the intent there is to get them up and running and back to their normal life as soon as possible. And then we also service a population that's generally called a long-term care population. And those are people that are either elderly or have some kind of disability, and they require 24-hour skilled nursing. They require more than usually families can provide at home. And so we have a separate population for that, and we service both those areas. So traditionally when you hear nursing home, it can mean either, or it can mean both, or sometimes in the mind of the general population, sometimes they think nursing home equals a place for old people to go, and that's not necessarily the case, but we certainly service a broad population.
Yeah, that's very interesting to me. Yeah. So basically the types of people that you receive are like if someone breaks their hip, you would take them. If somebody has a stroke, you would take them. If someone has cardiac heart problems, you would take them. What are some of your programs there where you kind of specialize?
Right. We have 3 targeted specialized programs. We see a lot of patients for what they call general wellness, and that's someone that's been really sick in the hospital. They get very weak. They need to have some physical therapy. They may need speech or occupational therapy, but we have a targeted program for patients that have suffered stroke, and we have specialized trained physical therapists, speech therapists that specialize in neuro treatments. And then we also have an orthopedic plan for patients who've broken a hip or knee replacements or those kind of things. And again, you have to hire people that are specifically trained in those areas. And then we do a lot of what we call cardio wellness, and that's a program not just designed to get them strong while they're in the facility, but it really focuses on lifestyle modification, diet modification. We're one of the only facilities, for example, that has a registered dietitian as our dietary manager.
Very cool.
And she can custom design plans for these patients to make sure that what you're trying to do is avoid them having the same issues again and avoid hospitalization or another cardiovascular event. So
interesting.
Those are the things we focus on with those.
That's very cool. So cardiac, stroke, and orthopedic. So do you have doctors that oversee these programs?
Yeah, we have, and that's another thing that I think is very important. We have I guess you'd say an armamentarium of physicians that specialize in these different areas, and that's an important thing when you're looking into skilled nursing needs. You want to make sure not only do you have a generalist, an internal medicine or family practice doctor that sees these patients, but we have a physical therapy specialist physician that comes to the building. We have cardiovascular specialists, we have neuro consultations, infectious disease consultations.
Wow.
We have an cardiologist that heads our program, one of the most prominent cardiologists in the area, and he helped us design that program so we can specifically meet their needs.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
So let's say that I had a loved one that needed to go into skilled nursing. What are some things that I would look for to help differentiate between, a good one and a bad one? Because, we all hear stories about good and bad.
Right. The most objective thing you can do, you could go onto Medicare.gov or CMS.gov, and there's a rating system that the government uses. This is a heavily regulated industry, and they want to make sure patients are getting the best care possible. And because there's always a financial element to this, it's a very, the reimbursement rates are not tremendous, and so the tendency is to try and give the patients the best care, but you're also within limitations of how much you can spend on these patients. So these organizations come in every year and they do extensive surveys of your building. They interview like 40 patients. They do extensive chart reviews. They go through your entire building and look at all of the different cosmetic elements, safety, just the physical appearance of the building. And so they have what they call a 5-star rating. And it's a system where the higher the star, the better the care that you've been giving. Orchard Park is fortunate in that we've been a 5-star rated facility for many years. That takes a lot. You have to spend a little more money. You have to make sure you have a higher standard. It basically puts you in the top 10% of facilities in the nation.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right.
I did a little research on Medicare.gov because in our pre-interview you were telling me about this, and I found it very interesting that you guys provide an hour more of registered nursing care than the average for the state. I found that very significant because of that care quality.
Yeah, and again, that's important. When patients come to the building, it's usually a family member that's investigating the patient's needs. The first thing I always tell patients, families, or those touring the facility is you need to really take a good look at the facility, spend a little time there, watch the interaction between nursing and patients. Do all of the departments get intimately involved? You want to make sure that your needs are being met as far as social services. Are they going to help you through the payment process for your insurances or Medicare or whatever your payment source is going to be? Are you going to be, comfortable? It's a very traumatic time for people when they have to put a patient or a family member in a facility like this. And so there's a lot of trust involved. And if you can take the time, to go through and really tour the facility, talk to, I try and have them meet my director of nursing, my director of rehab, my finance office, my social work, all of those people, so they really know what services are being provided, and they have realistic expectations of what their services are going to be. And we want them to feel as comfortable as we can, because it's a very difficult time for people, and we know that. And we have to earn their trust. So.
Interesting. Well, it sounds like with the recent award, you have done just that.
We like to think so.
Yes. And so from what I understand, you not only provide excellent rehab and excellent skilled nursing, but you have recently gone through a multi-million-dollar building renovation. Is that right?
Yeah. It's important to give patients a clean, comfortable environment. And every patient has different needs, different expectations. We've tried to design a facility that can meet as much of specific patient needs as possible. Every patient has a different thermostat, for example, so we have individually temperature-controlled rooms so they can be comfortable at what temperature. Like I said, the registered dietitian, that oftentimes patients are on restricted diets, and you want to make their dietary needs as nice as you can within those restrictions.
Everyone wants the food to be good.
Yeah.
So that's good to know that if I go to Orchard Park, I'm going to get good food.
Yeah, we try and, like I said, we've done everything we can to make sure that we provide them the things that they would like to have if they were in their own home, comfortable environment.
That's great. Well, Chris, thank you so much for being with us today.
Well,
Congratulations again. It's a pleasure
you.
to have you.